Hi everybody, welcome to Mutsa KTV. I'm Mutsa. I'm from Zimbabwe. I'm currently in North Cyprus and I'm so excited to share this journey with you guys. It's going to be exciting. I have so much content for you guys. As you can see, today is pretty major from the title of the video. I'm going to be telling my coming out story to you guys today. I've been really holding back on doing this, but I'm finally in a space where I feel like it's time to be free and share. So I really hope that you enjoy it, and let's get right into the video. Okay, so about 8 years ago, no, is it 8? Around 2015, my best friend had moved away from Zimbabwe to the States, and I'm going to call her Andrea. And at the time, she was like being punished, so her phones had been taken away by her aunt, who we're going to call Rona. And so I then came out to her via email, and Aunt Rona came across that email, and she was using it as blackmail so that I stopped talking to her. And I remember that day I thought about it for about 24 hours, and then I went on Facebook and I posted "Friends forever, you can never break us," you know. And I wasn't friends with the aunt on Facebook, but somehow she managed to call my dad. And actually, she threatened me before, sorry. She said that if I didn't stop talking to my friend, that she would tell my parents about the feelings I had for someone called Charlie. We're gonna call him Charlie. Just, to protect their own, you know. So I realized that she had gone through the emails, and I thought she was kidding. So when I did the Facebook post, she called my dad. Now, the weird thing about this was my dad and her were not friends. They were not people who were in contact. My dad was in Zimbabwe, she was in the States. I just couldn't see how she could put that together. And then I went to school, and I remember when I got home, my mom was like, "Did you call Aunt Rona a bitch?" And then I was like, "Yeah, but you don't know what she did to me." But I didn't know what to say at the time, because it's not like I could really say why I called her a bitch. And she was just like, "Your dad's waiting to talk to you." So I went to him and he asked me the same question. And I said again, "Yeah, but you don't know what she did to me." Now, I didn't know at the time, do I say that she was blackmailing me, in regards to my sexuality, or do I just take it? And so I just took it, really. But what he said is that she said I was disturbing the girls from school, which wasn't true. But I knew in that moment that it was really just a power play for her to show me that if she really wanted to, she can play this card and tell them, what I was hiding from everybody. And so I was now living in fear of what could possibly happen. So in that moment, I stopped talking to my friend, because I realized that my life was at risk of being just over, really. And so I stopped talking to her, which was really hard, because this was like the closest friend I had, other than the other guy, Charlie. I grew up in a country where homosexuality is, seen as something that's just really so ungodly. It's against our culture and customs. And I just didn't know how I was going to face, society. I was living in fear of how my neighbors, my friends were going to treat me. I noticed how people would react in a certain way simply because they saw a music video that had something LGBT, in it, and I just couldn't deal. And around that time, I decided that I was going to commit suicide on December 16 of 2015. Towards the date, I started getting anxious, and I just said to myself, you know what? If these people really love me, they'll get over it. but it's really not easy. It's like you're trying to convince yourself that it'll be okay, but you're really not sure because everyone has their own views on it. And what you really want is a support system and for them to be like, it's okay, do you? But like I said, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, so you just never know how it's gonna go. So I decided to come out to my siblings, which actually went really well. They've been the most supportive people in my life. I had actually come out to my sister just a month before I was being blackmailed, so everything was okay. And then I had to deal with my older brother and my little brother. I wasn't sure what was going to be worse, but I feared my older brother's reaction more. I don't know why. Maybe because we didn't actually grow up together. We have a 15-year age gap. And then by the time he was 20, I was 5. He moved away to a different country. So I didn't know what he's like. And I didn't know how to go about it. I didn't know how he felt about it. But surprisingly enough, he was just like, I knew it when I saw you. And I've just been waiting for you to tell me. And he was just really supportive, which was, I really needed that. I remember breaking down in tears, just anxious of what he was going to say. And he just said the most beautiful things. He's always believed in my own happiness more than I have. And to this day, he's always that guy who, he makes me believe that no matter what I've faced, there's always something better coming. There's always something worth living for. And he just convinced me that there's really nothing in this world that's ever worth killing yourself for. And I guess I changed my mind on that date. I really did. And then I spoke to my little brother, which was a little bit weird in the beginning. He felt a bit uncomfortable for a few hours, actually. But then it went back to normal. I think it was different from wondering and then really knowing, so it weirded him out a little bit. But we're really good. They're both really they're really protective of me. I can say that. And they're just really supportive. I started breaking into my best friends and all of them went pretty well. Except for one, but he came around about 3 months later. And, when that was happening, I realized that the world wasn't really as bad as I thought it was. And so, bit by bit, a little bit of family or friends. And then university, I found myself a little bit more free and I just started exploring the things that I like, in terms of arts or even just people. I was in a space where I was really around different people with different beliefs, and I guess at the end of the day, I really realized that it's okay to be me. I didn't just wake up and decide that I just wanted a change, because I know a lot of people, especially in my own country, that's how they view it. And you kind of try to pray the gay away. And I did that for a while, and then it didn't work, and then I just decided to be me and free. I started finding myself in a space where I just wanted to tell my parents, but I didn't know how, because I was scared of how society would view them as failures as parents, because that's just how it's seen, in my culture. My mother is a very religious woman, very religious woman. I usually call her a prayer warrior. When she prays, you can really feel the spirit move within her, which made it really hard for me to come out to her. I tried, and well, I did really. And she told me that how she felt about it, and it was difficult for her. But I guess my mom, because I then told her about the blackmail and, the things that I had planned to do, or, how I had planned to kill myself. I guess I felt like my mom was always just trying to be a mom. I felt like she feared losing me, and so she tried to understand me. And she's been getting there bit by bit. Um, there was a scene that we had when she came for my graduation this past January. And within that moment, I was really, really upset. And I remember my brothers just said to me, this is your moment to finally tell your truth and, express everything you've been feeling and how comfortable you are with so many things and what you're not comfortable with, and just try to understand each other. And I actually took his advice, and it went really well. I feel like me and my mom understand each other a lot better, and I feel like maybe supportive may not necessarily be the right word to use, but she is definitely trying to understand me. My dad, I believe he's also just antsy about the whole thing because they grew up, knowing that this is something that's against our, Zimbabwean customs and traditions. It's considered to be very ungodly. No one's really trying to hear out the other side. And I don't blame them for that. It's just what came with their age and their era. Or that's just what they believed. And not that I feel like, their beliefs are wrong, anything. Like, everyone has their own opinions. But it's just something that was weird to them. Even with my dad, it was awkward for me to even have to say that, this is what I like because of all those beliefs and whatnot. I didn't know how to go about that. I actually had to just go straight forward with it. And it was really awkward before I started saying it because I knew he knew what I wanted to talk about. And I think it was just awkward for the both of us. But as soon as I started talking and he was asking me questions, I just went in and I said my truth. And it didn't go as bad as I thought, really. I appreciate their understanding, I really do. It's just made me feel like maybe I should have done this, a while ago. But to be honest with you, I think when it feels right is when you should just do it, and it felt right now. In my head, I was scared of how they would end up treating me, but the response that I got was basically, you're our child, we may not agree with it, but we can't just throw you away. And it's just been a really beautiful experience because I know a lot of people who have, come out, and some of them, I know, some they've been disowned or just, they're mistreated, or their shots are just fired towards them for no reason. And there's really, sometimes you feel like there's nothing you can do about it. It's very hard to stand up for yourself in those moments because a lot of people don't realize that the things that people close to you say, they sink in, and you start questioning yourself and your existence. And I'm so glad I've had such a beautiful support system in terms of family and friends, and I hope it continues to be like that. And even as you watch this video, I know a lot of people are actually finding out, about this through this video. Friends, family, foes, but it's okay. It's just been a lot, really. But I'm so glad that I finally got to tell, everyone who I felt like needed to know before I started this journey. I'm in a good space. I'm in a good space. I feel so free to be doing this in this moment right now. And I'm so excited about all the stories I've got to tell you guys. It's been a lot. I've lived a lot of crazy little adventures, and some of them were nightmares. But you know, I feel like it's made me the person that I am now. I'm just really excited to share this with you guys and my journey, and I have so many more stories to tell, and you know, my experiences. And I really do hope that this video encourages someone else, you know, to know that um the world is really not as bad as it seems. Yeah, there is bad stuff, but there's a lot of good in it too. And it's way better to choose your own freedom and just be you. I can't wait to share the next video with you guys. Stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and subscribe. All right. Ciao.